Pulpit Show, and I am Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good of marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, don't hold that against me. We'll just call that icing on the cake. Now, the mission at Marketing Pulpit Show is to build strong businesses in our community so that we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. So if you ever find yourself in a business crossroads and not sure which way to turn, just turn on the Marketing Pulpit Show because we're on a mission. The show is broadcast live from the illustrious Radio 1 studio. Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. We're not saving souls. We are saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, don't hold that against me. My dad was a preacher. We just call it icing on the cake. But the mission here is to build strong businesses in our community so we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. I am Robert Gatewood. I'm your host, and I am a business developer by trade. I build businesses. That's what I do for a living. It's one of those, it's kind of hard to put in one word, but if I had to sum it up in one word or two words, business developer. I develop businesses. People come to me, they have business ideas, or they have businesses that are already existing. They want to make them better, grow customers, sales, product development, you name it. That's what I do. Been doing it for over 30 years as a entrepreneur. Before that, I was in corporate America as a buyer, as a merchandiser, as a senior vice president of marketing, business development, been all over the place. Been in the smoky boardrooms. But you know what I discovered? These big companies, man, they don't pull any stops when it comes to going after business and growing. So what I've realized that there was an uneven playing field for the small businesses. So when I left corporate America, I decided to bring these skills to the small businesses, kind of cut out some of the big things that they can't afford or kind of modified it so it would be within their budget. And that's been my calling. That's what I do now. That's what I do for a living. And I do it for more than just the money. I do it because I do feel like this is my purpose, my raison d'etre, my reason for being. And I support this purpose with other things, such as I'm a professor at Prince George's College over in the Washington, D.C. area. I teach marketing and teach networking, social media strategies, quite a few courses over there. We just started a new digital marketing course this past fall. Also, I've written a couple of books on the topic of marketing and business development, one called Smarter Than the Boss. That's a good read if you're thinking about jumping into the entrepreneurial pool. And I've also written a book called Played in Full. And let's see what else. And I work with the federal government in the small business space, small business administration as a consultant in the technology area. And that's one of my areas where I've spent a lot of time trying to help companies come up to speed in technology. Don't let that technology get too far behind. It'll hurt you. I'd like to welcome everybody. All the people who are tuning in for the first time, welcome to the show. You catch us here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. on this platform. And if you missed some of the past shows, go to marketingpulpit.com. You can watch the show live on the homepage. You can also catch us on Facebook. You can catch us on YouTube. Catch us on Radio 1, catch us on Twitter, catch us on LinkedIn, catch us on X. We're out there because it is important that this information gets into the ear holes of these business developers, these business owners. If you are about to start a business, this is a good show to tune in because we're also going to talk about today. We're going to talk about side hustles or income streams or passive income, whatever you want to call it. Many of you have started these companies and sometimes you're still doing your daytime job. Some people have decided to make entrepreneurship their main breadwinner, but sometimes you have to supplement that income, not just because you need it, because it's just a good idea to have multiple income streams coming in. So we're going to talk about some opportunities, and I'm going to tether it to your skill set. So if you are a nurturing person, there are certain type of opportunities that may avail themselves to you. If you're tech savvy, if you're financially savvy, if you good with your hands, you like cars, we're going to talk about some opportunities that may be more geared towards your type of skills. We're going to talk about that later in the show. Also, we're going to talk about some things that are happening in the news quite a bit. Oh boy, things that are going on with the Uber drama continues. Online dating, this AI technology. So stick around we're going to bring you up to date on what's happening out here in the news. And we do that also on this show on a regular basis to make sure that you are tied in, that you can contextualize. And welcome everybody who's tuning in online. I see LaTanya. Hey, LaTanya, the next marketing class is, matter of fact, I'm doing a summer course this summer on digital marketing at the college. So that's going to be one of the courses. We're also doing a series of courses at BLE Executive Suites. We're offering a workshop seminar, webinar series. I'm going to be teaching the first one in, I think it's April 14th. I have to check that date, but I'll put it on the website. And for anybody who's looking to find out when I'm teaching, go to marketingpulpit.com. There is a schedule of when I'm going to be teaching these various courses, so you can stay up to date. And people are tuning in on various platforms. I teach courses at the Bowie Innovation Center over in Bowie, at the Maryland Women's Business Center, at the Employed Prince George's. Of course, we have the BLE series, and of course, the Prince George's Community College and the new digital marketing program. So I'm out here trying to get this information to you because it's that important. Good question. Good morning, Ronald. Ronald, good to see you this morning. Ronald, one of our regular tuner enters, and he's also one of the regulars at the First Friday networking event we have over at BLE Executive Suites. As a matter of fact, we have one next Friday on May 3rd, where Miss Bernadette Clay, she puts together a great group of people who are just very sharp and like-minded. We talk about the law of attraction. And this week, we're going to have Mr. Witt, Carlton Witt. He's with the Employed Prince George's, and he's going to be there on Friday talking about some business opportunities and resources in the county up here in the Washington, D.C. area. I see Attorney Bradley Thomas. Good morning, Brother Thomas. He's a sharp intellectual property attorney. Glad to have him tuning in on a regular basis. I see Miss Colette Jackson out of Florida. I'm going to call her Dr. Jackson. 85 Beta Sorority. She also has a consulting business. I see Brother Brown, the greatest plumber in town. Good morning, Mr. Brown. And to everybody that's tuning in, and if you want to get a shout out, just drop me a note in the feed, and I will acknowledge you and recognize you. We have a great group of people tuning in this morning. And I really appreciate you. And LaTanya said she would be there on May 3rd. LaTanya, I would look forward to seeing you. Haven't seen you in a while, so I would be looking forward to seeing you on May 3rd over at BLE Executive Suites. Go to marketingpulpit.com. You can find out more about the BLE Executive Suites First Friday. It's 11:30 to 1:30 on the first Friday of every month. And we'll be there having a great time. Free food, free parking, great people. I'll be there emceeing Miss Bernadette Clay, who owns the BLE Executive Suites. The 3 locations, one in Largo, Maryland, one in National Harbor, and one over in College Park, which is a hub zone. And if you want to be successful, you got to hang around successful people. These people are doing things. And so we don't waste your time. We get there and we let people introduce themselves, network, and of course we have a great speaker usually on these First Friday events. So welcome everybody who's tuning in. And Mr. Ronald can tell us all about it. He's love this guy. He's every Friday, his wife doing great things, and I'm glad to see him on board this morning. I hope you're tuning in, whether you're on LinkedIn, whether you're on X, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Twitter, YouTube, Radio One. Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Radio Show. Also, don't forget to get into the business directory. Go to mpi.bz, one of the hottest directories in town. And this is something else that's provided by the Marketing Pulpit Radio Show just to keep you tuned in. I'll tell you another good reason I like this directory. People are always asking me, where can I find a good plumber? Where can I find a good attorney? Where can I find a good graphic designer? Where can I find a web designer? Where can I find a therapist? My memory is pretty good, but I can't remember everybody's phone number and web address and email address. But what I do remember, mpi.bz, I'm going to say go to the directory. And it's probably they're featured right there on the homepage. Like you'll see Attorney Bradley Thomas and Eternity Plumbing. You'll see Miss Colette Jackson. You'll see some of these great people who are regulars, who are featured on the homepage of the Marketing Pulpit Business Directory. I'd like to get you in there too. So go there, go ahead and sign up. Matter of fact, if you sign up today, I'll go ahead and upgrade you to the gold package, which gets you featured on the homepage, and it gets you a shout out on the directory. Do we have anybody new today? We have a new. Yes, we do. We have an attorney. Have an attorney out of New Orleans who specializes in big rig accidents, and so glad to see him join today. So go and get your name in the directory. Glad to have you. And so we're going to get rolling here. We're going to talk about also, we recognize in this month, National Stress Awareness Month. I know I talk about it a lot, but I don't think many people realize the damage that stress can do if it's not regulated and controlled. And so it's also, today is Get Organized Day. And I found a link between the two. If you're not organized, you're really adding to that stress. So I'm going to tie the two together today, and let's talk about getting organized. At the same time, let's talk about reducing and minimizing some of the stress out here. Let me give you a couple of quick tips. One thing, declutter your workspace. Declutter your workspace. I know. You got your baby pictures over here. You got your softball league. You got all these things on your desk. You got things that are important to you. You got old phones and computers with the crank on the back. Declutter your space. That's going to start getting you organized and probably reduce some of this stress. Create a filing system too. Many of you have photos and things like that are all over the place. Get yourself a filing system. Try to get it up in the cloud. I know some people are a little leery about the cloud, but get some of that information up in the cloud, Dropbox, Google Drive. Get that information off your desk, up in the cloud, file it. And use these digital tools. Many good software tools out here that help you declutter and organize. And a lot of this paper, just scan it. Phone that has a scanner on it. Also get into some type of routine about organizing. Make it a lifestyle change so that you're going to do certain things to make sure that clutter doesn't come back. Also, don't be afraid to delegate tasks. Get things off your plate into other people's hands. There's a lot of virtual services out here. Some of you have staff outsourced to subcontractors. Get some of these things off your plate. That's going to help you declutter, organize, and reduce stress. Also, set yourself some goals. Take some time to define your priorities for the upcoming month, week, and these things organized. That's going to reduce some clutter and reduce some stress. Also, invest in storage solutions, shelves, bins, things like that, to get things organized, not only in real time, but in virtually as well. Keep a calendar, plan things. Surprises and uncertainty are big ways of cluttering your mind and creating stress. Now, some other ways to avoid stress, because I'm really big on stress this month. I beat the horn earlier in the month. I'm going to keep beating it because stress is a killer. I'm just telling you, a lot of problems we have physically, mentally, can be the result of stress. So I want you to do this. Practice relaxation, deep breathing, yoga, meditation, prayer, whatever it does to get your mind regulated. Exercise. I started this about 2 years ago. I'm doing it now. It's part of my routine now. I get up in the morning, I get on the treadmill, and that gives me, my mind is free. My blood is flowing. I got things moving. So this is a good way to reduce that stress. Healthy diet, drink water, cut back on some of the alcohol. If you're smoking, try to stop. Eat fruit, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, things like that. You want to get a healthy body is a less stressful body. Go to sleep. I should be talking to myself here. I'm getting better, but I try to be in the bed now by midnight. But I'm an early riser. I'm going to be up by 6 o'clock. No matter what happens, I can go to bed at 5:30, but 6 o'clock, my alarm is going back up in my mind, so I'm jumping back up. So if you know that about yourself, try to get into bed earlier. Practice mindfulness, Stay present and don't worry so much about the future. Big cause of stress. Limit yourself to triggers, things that stress you. Technology, caffeine, alcohol, people, situations, things that you know are going to trigger you and cause you stress. Get away from them. Try to avoid them, or at least limit your exposure. And engage in activities that bring you joy and pleasure and peace. Jogging, going to a movies, spending time with friends and family, loved ones. These are things that you can do on this month of stress reduction that can reduce your stress. Ron say he and Deborah are here checking me out. Well, brother Ron, I'm glad to see you and Deborah here checking me out. They have mutual calendars on phones and laptops. Hey, it's good feedback. All right, thank you, brother. So once again, let's try to fight this stress this morning. What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about a few items in the news. We're going to find out what's going on with Google. We're going to find out what's going on with Tesla. We're going to talk about some of these problems that Uber just seems to can't get away from. And also, if you're out here dating online, man, we got a story that just really going to shock you. So hang on a second. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Bring you the good marketing gospel. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a minute.
One cup of greens per day will lower your risk of dying from heart attack or stroke by 30%. Hallelujah. A half a cup of beans every day will drop you down by another 30% because of the fiber and the medicines in the beans will sweep away the cholesterol and the saturated fat. Half a cup of berries per day with all of the antioxidants and flavonoids will drop your risk down. And then finally, a fourth of a cup of nuts and seeds every day will drop your risk down by 33%. You simply eat those foods every single day and take everything else away that's destroying you. And we could eradicate heart disease, high blood pressure, and stroke. Glory! Hallelujah.
Register today and get ready for your health revolution.
All right, welcome back to the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday, 10:30 a.m., bringing you the good marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses. Join us every Friday right here on this platform, however you're tuning in, whether you're on Radio 1, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on X, whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook. We're all over the place, okay? If you get confused, just go to marketingpulpit.com and you can find us right there with all the listening options, and you can listen to the show right on the homepage. You can also join the conversation. Have a button there if you want to jump on camera and talk to us, and we're glad to have you on the show. We got a lot going on here. We're going to talk about later in the show. We're going to talk about income streams, how to make this money while you sleep. I like the sound of that. I like to sleep. I like to make money. So what's not to like about it, right? We're also going to talk about some items in the news. I tell you what, I've been talking about this, been beating this drum for a while. Just because you can do a thing doesn't always mean that it's right for you. And I'm still wrestling with some of these latest technology platforms that are out here. They're great for society, but sometimes you really got to do your research and make sure it works for you. I'm still heartbroken about this young lady who went on her first date. And she was on through a dating app, and they're still finding her body parts. I mean, that's kind of gross, but I'm saying this because I want you, my audience, to be aware. This technology out here is great, but protect yourself. Do your research. Don't be meeting strangers, and it's not just on dating apps. People are selling products and cars and chest of drawers through these different social media platforms. They're meeting these strangers. They bring them to their homes. Folks, just because you can do something, just because something is going to save you a few minutes, just because it seems exciting, do your due diligence. Protect yourself. Tell somebody where you're going. Talk to somebody. Get experience. So I'm really not feeling some of this technology. And this is odd coming from a technology guy, right? I teach social media strategy over at Prince George's College. And people come to the class, they expect me to stand up there and try to sell them on the concept of social media and technology. What I'm telling you is that there's about 5 billion people on social media. And if you're in business, that's a market that's too big to ignore. But what I do tell you is use it and don't let it use you. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. We have this teacher now. Here's this AI, another problem. This teacher created a AI video using the voice of his principal making disparaging comments. They had some type of dispute going back and forth. So he took the teacher's, I guess, picture or video, used AI and put words in his mouth and put it out there on the internet. And this is a teacher that did this to another person. And I'm big on teachers, man. These are my favorite people in the world. But this technology's got people losing their mind. Now, this next story, which really broke my heart, I think I laid in the bed staring at the ceiling over this one. This Uber driver goes to this house to pick up a package. Somebody called and said there's a package to be picked up. 61-year-old woman goes to the house to pick up the package. Not realizing that before she arrived, somebody had called the person at the house that says, I want you to give me like $10,000 in ransom money because we're going to hurt some family member of yours. So when this person shows up, give them the money. So the old guy, the lady shows up doing what she normally does, picking up to pick up a package. The guy sees her, thinks she's part of this scheme that's coming to rob him or blackmail him. He pulls out a gun, takes her phone, marches her off to her car. She tries to get away, shoots her, and kills her. Well, one thing we're going to talk about later on is how there's some job opportunities that don't require you to be out here in the streets, folks shooting at you. But even if you're doing it, and you've got to do it safely, and you gotta really do your due diligence. I'm not sure what advice I would have given a young lady who goes to pick up this package. She's doing what she does. But I will say this to the person that had the gun: don't be so trigger happy. From what I saw from the video, the lady was trying to get away. She realized something was wrong. You took her phone. She's trying to get away. Call the police. Call the police if you feel threatened. People are so trigger happy nowadays, and now they're making it easier and easier for people to get guns. I think in Tennessee now they made it possible for teachers to take guns to school. Like more guns is going to solve the problem. So there's so many things that's wrong in that particular story. I mean, really, the news just break your heart. We started a segment back during the pandemic called War in the Workplace, where people just really lost their ever-loving mind. And now that I thought we were on the way out, but every time we think we're trying to get some type of break, along come a new app, some new technology, something else, and we're back into it. So I'm just going to say, one, stay tuned in here. We're going to try to keep you abreast. Let's talk about it. Let's educate our young people. Let's try to be good, decent, and kind people, not so quick to shoot our fellow man or woman. So we got to really work on ourselves. We got to make sure that we're doing the right thing and not let technology use us and make us become something that we're not. So as Brother Ronald says, please be careful. I totally agree. Oh, man, let me see. Mr. Bradley, of course, makes a very good point. It falls into the category. There's just too many guns out here. Absolutely, Bradley. It is too many guns out here, because if you didn't have a gun, this young lady would still be alive. He would have been safe. She didn't come to hurt him. He had a gun. And when you have a gun, there's something in you crazy that feels like you have to use it. Also, what is it about these teachers? I've been so big on teachers lately. Another case, a Nebraska teacher, 45, caught naked in car with a teenager, and she's married to a Harvard-educated government official. I'm not even sure I want to comment on this. All I can say is that if you do these kind of things, whether it's a male, female, you're not going to get away. Just period. If you're ever thinking about it, or if you know somebody's thinking about it, you're not going to get away with it. That's all I'm going to say to that. I don't know what's going on with people think that they can do these kind of things and get away with it. You're not going to get, there's a camera everywhere. There's a phone everywhere. There's text, there's paper trails, there's electronic footprints. You're not going to get away with it. So to this Nebraska teacher, I don't know what was going through her head to think that this was going to actually work. It's not going to work. And this woman in Brazil, she rolls a corpse into a bank to co-sign for her loan. I'm not even going to touch that. Next. All right, let's do this. The news. Let's talk about some normal news. Well, Google is making more money than they can count. Alphabet, which owns Google, they're set to do that, to distribute their first dividends ever. And they have reported 8.1 billion in sales in the first quarter, 20% over the same period a year ago. And they're going to be giving out 20 cents per share dividend, will be paid on June 17th. Man, I knew I should have bought me some Google stock. I put some money in Tesla, and I got some of the popular ones. I didn't get Google though. Tesla, speaking of Tesla, they're having their woes. Their stock took a plunge. They're fighting China in a price war, and they're about to come out with what they call an affordable electric vehicle. And he's going to do that to try to shore things back up. What he needs to do is stop talking politics. Go ahead and get these stocks up and stop posting crazy stuff online. That would be my advice to Mr. Elon Musk, who's also the owner of X, formerly known as Twitter. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about our main topic today. We're going to talk about passive income, making money, side hustles, and I'm going to tie it to your personality. So I'm going to give you some personality types or skill set types and some money making ideas that might tie into it. So hang on, you don't want to miss that. So hang on a second. I know everybody needs a couple extra coins, so hang on, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in a minute.
I'm Amina, the founder and CEO of HBCU Leggings. My small business story started with my passion for my alma mater, Howard University, one of the most renowned historically Black colleges and universities. In 2020, I was given the opportunity to organize a t-shirt fundraiser for Howard alumni. And in just 2 weeks, we successfully raised and donated $17,000 to Howard University. That experience inspired me to extend my support to all HBCUs. Obtaining a license to create collegiate apparel was the first significant obstacle I had to surmount. And now, HBCU Leggings has licenses with 8 HBCUs, with several more on the horizon. Apart from creating exquisite apparel, HBCU Leggings is also committed to raising awareness about the extraordinary contributions of HBCUs. The business disseminates information through blog posts, social media content, and e-newsletters. My ultimate commitment is to give back to these outstanding institutions. A portion of all sales generated by HBCU Leggings is directed towards supporting each represented school with the objective of giving back 15% of our revenue through royalties and donation. My motivation comes from my deep love for HBCUs and my aspiration to want to make a positive impact in this world.
All right, welcome back, and congratulations to Miss Amina Hammonds of HBCU Leggings. She's one of our clients we've been working with now a little under a year, and just got her product line in the Sam's Club. So they're going to have their product in the Sam Clubs, and they're representing 8 of the HBCUs with their leggings and jackets and shirts. And man, this is the kind of story that I just love to tell, and glad to. She's been on the show. Over Radio 1, and just glad to have her and congratulate her. We're going to be doing a press release letting everybody know about this amazing feat, and just love these kind of stories. And if you want to be a part of, if you want to try to get your business off the ground, and we do a free consultation to anybody, we'll give you 15 minutes. Go to gatewoodmarketing.com and we'll talk about what you're trying to do, and if any way we can help. Now, like right now, we're not really taking on clients at this particular moment. Our plate is full. What I try to do is build relationships with clients. The people that I'm working with now, probably the average client is probably about 10 years, because we don't do the flash in the pan, fly by night. But we have to start somewhere. So we have quite an extensive screening process. And once we get under the gate, then success is almost assured. And we have people on this line right now that can attest to that, including Miss Amina Hammonds. I got to get her back on the show. Really bright young lady. And all of the people who are sponsoring the show, Minister of Wellness, Nathaniel Jordan, BLE Executive Suites, of course, Bradley Thomas Law, Eternity Plumbing, just a great lineup of people. We're just glad and appreciate you. And come on in. I think we have room for one more, but like I said, if you bring your own, we probably have to do a little waiting list, but we get you in there if there's a good match between our services and your product. Let's talk about some of these side hustles out here. We talked about the different types of businesses on a couple of shows back. Talked about the scale it and sell it model, to build it from scratch. We talked about different types of businesses. Well, many of you have a company right now. Many of you are actually working for a company right now. But what people always say, get you multiple streams of income. That simply means have money coming from various sources. But every job, every business, every concept is not for everybody. So what I tried to do this morning, I put on my psychology hat, my business development hat, my skill set hat, whatever you want to call it, HR hat, and try to match up some of these opportunities with the type of person or the type of skills that you have. So for instance, if you are a very organized person, and you know who you are, some people, man, I tell you, they make my head spin. They are organized like nobody else. Then you might get a side hustle or a stream of income as a professional organizer, or a virtual assistant, a home staging consultant. There are opportunities that run right up your alley that fits right into your skill set and your personality. Perhaps you are financially business savvy. Some people they're just whizzes. They just have it in them. Why not capitalize on this? As a personal finance consultant, a tax preparer, a financial planner, affiliate marketing, business coach. Now, of course, some of these professions may require some training and certification, but why not go ahead and get the training and certification if you already have it innately and go ahead and start making this money? Maybe you are artsy, creative. Then if you have that artistic gene, graphic design, freelancer, homemade crafts, a web designer. Some people actually just have that skill in them. Why not go ahead and formalize it, get you the training, and go ahead, let's go ahead and make this money. Then we have the high-tech people out there among us. Some people just born with it. Like my daughter, she was moving a mouse around before she could pick up a bottle. Now, she didn't go in the tech field because she's multifaceted, but I see this all the time where there's some people just have it in them. They're high-tech, their brain is wired a certain way. Once again, things like network security, web design, developing apps, social media manager, consulting, online stores, things like that could be right up your alley. Go ahead and get the courses, get the certification. That's once again, we talk about over at Prince George's Community College, we have this new digital marketing certificate. So you take one of these kind of courses, if you already have it in you or innately, go ahead and take a course, get you a certificate. Now you can go ahead and start making this bank. Maybe you're nurturing. You seen the motherly, fatherly type that just want to make sure everybody's all right. Then what about daycare providing, maybe pet sitting service, home healthcare aid, online tutoring, online coaching. If you just like helping people, moving them along, encouraging them, making them better, then these are some types of opportunities that might be right up your alley. Like to drive? Well, that's pretty obvious. You might go out here and drive for Uber, Lyft, but you better be careful. I've already told you now. If you don't want to be out there among the wolves and dealing with people like that, you might look at some of these other opportunities. Some people, they just love that kind. They like being out there. They feel they have what it takes. Or you might look at car detailing service. If you want to be in cars, you might look at that. And some other type of services that require use your ability and fondness of automobiles. Entertaining, is that in your blood? How about event planning, party hosting, hostess, catering services, things like that, along the entertainment field. If you like to cook, man, everybody's got that one recipe they just really love to do. You make a certain type of banana pudding or sweet potato pie. You may do a stuffing at a holiday season. You got this barbecue wing that everybody keeps talking about. Then how about being a personal chef or some type of catering service? Or a food truck owner. You can go ahead and buy a truck and throw in your own recipes on some of these things that you're doing. But once again, make sure you're complying with the laws and the regulations in the area in which you operate. But just because there's a fee or certificate or some type of compliance, that should not be a detriment if it's something that you are already doing naturally. Just get the certifications and go ahead and start making this money. And you could be handy, one of these handy folks. You're always fixing stuff. You can fix everything. Baby crib, you put that thing together in 5 minutes. Somebody else might take 5 years. The kid be out of college, you see trying to put the baby crib together. Well, you might look at becoming a handyman service. One of my clients, my first client when I became a marketing person, well, this guy, he was a handyman. He was just handy. His office was right down the hall from mine. But I watched him, he took his passion and he went from handyman to construction. Then he started buying properties. This guy is a millionaire several times over now, just starting out with one of these side hustles, just following something that he likes to do innately. He upgraded, got the certifications, went back to school, did what he needed to do. So these side hustles, if you treat them right, they could actually be the ticket to your wealth. Handy, you could be home renovation contract and so forth. So just one of these handy people. So there are opportunities out here that could be a perfect tie-in for who you are. And there's other opportunities out here if you just don't want to get your hands dirty. Some of these passive income things like starting a blog on YouTube and start the affiliate marketing and monetizing a YouTube channel, investing in stocks and things like that. Of course, talk to an advisor on that. Selling digital products like books, and ebooks, and things like that online. Renting out rooms in your house. Airbnb. Things like purchasing an online business and bringing it to fruition. Writing your own book, selling it on Amazon, Kindle, and places like that. Some of these peer-to-peer lending platforms, you got a little extra cash to play with. Creating a mobile app if you're tech savvy. Vending machines, things like vending machines, ATMs, things like that. Great passive income. And doing some type of subscription service where you're selling maybe content and things like that. So my bottom line is we are living in a gig economy. That simply means that, yeah, you got your job, but some of you nearing retirement, some of you could use an extra set of extra check coming in. The cost of living is going through the roof. So it's a good time to start looking before you start looking outside on what type of job or what type of opportunity. I want you to first look in and find something that ties into your personality and your skill set, and you're much more likely to be successful and to stick with it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. I'm here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. I really appreciate everybody coming out today. Love this group, some of the best listeners and followers in the world. But guess what? We don't do it just one time. We'll be back next week to do it all over again, right here on the Marketing Pulpit Show. Don't forget to come out to the BLE First Friday on May 3rd. I'll be there. Miss Bernadette Clay and company will be there. Ronald will be there. Ronald, he comes out every first Friday, and a few other people that are just regulars come on out and join us. And meet some of these nice people. Mr. Brown, another one, he comes out every Friday. Bless his heart. And so I'll see you at First Friday, and we'll be back next week on the air to remind you again. Also, you can go to marketingpulpit.com and register. There's a banner on the right side. You can also go to BLE Executive Suites and go to events. And you can also register that way. And as I always say when I close out the show, if you want to be successful, you have to do these three things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you have to do it right. Enough talk. Let's get to work.